How's it going, Top Forest TV? My name is Jack, and welcome to my preview for Nottingham Forest versus Manchester United, taking place on Saturday at the tea time kickoff. So yeah, Forest do complete their double header of Manchester fixtures as we take on United at Old Trafford, and yeah, it's going to be well, it's a really difficult one to kind of tell how things are going to go for this one, to be honest with you, because Manchester United have just obviously appointed I'd say Nuno. It's not Nuno Amorim, it's Ruben Amorim. Nuno's our manager. It's a battle of the Portuguese gaffers in the Premier League as Nuno faces Amorim. Yeah, they've just picked him up, and their first three games under his tenureship was a draw, a 1-1 draw away at Portman Road against Ipswich, a win at Old Trafford against Everton, a 4-0 convincing win, and then a loss at the Emirates last night. It was a 2-0 win for Arsenal. So they're a really difficult team to sort of predict at the minute. Mark Goldbridge said that, obviously he watches a lot more Man United than I do. Sorry about that. I thought my mouth there. It's probably having a moustache. But no, yeah, Mark Goldbridge said, that that 4-0 wasn't sort of a case of United are back and Rashford and Xerxes are firing and it's going to be sort of an upturn in form. He said that it's going to take a long time for them to get to where they want to be. He said Amarim's going to need sort of a new squad and certain players to go and in order for his sort of philosophy to be bedded in. So look, I think it's going to be an interesting one to see how things pan out from a Manchester United point of view. For Forest, obviously, last night we did lose 2-0 away at Man United. No, we didn't, at Man City. 3-0 away at Man City. What am I saying? 3-0 away at Man City. Yeah, frustrating, that one. Really frustrating, because obviously, look, going away to the Etihad is never going to be an easy task, especially, in the last, nearly 24 years now since the takeover. It's not going to be easy, and it's going to be one that's going to be probably ending in a defeat for the away side. But given the way they've been playing recently, I thought there might be a chance, there might be an opportunity that we could maybe look to try and look at their what would it be? I was about to say something there, but I completely forgot what it was I was going to say. Explore their frailties and really try and see where they're feeling weak and where they're lacking that confidence, and really try and go and make something out of it. But unfortunately, we weren't able to do that. And I think you look at the first two away games that we played against the Big Six. We played Chelsea and Liverpool. Liverpool away first, and we won 1-0, and then it was Chelsea away, which we drew 2-2. No, we didn't. We drew 1-1. What am I on about? I'm getting the numbers all mixed up here. It was a 1-1 draw. Chris Wood scored, and then they equalised after that. So yeah, look, I think we had seen that we can do well away from home against the big sides. We've seen that we can do it. We've seen what we're capable of. But the last two have been poor 3-0 losses. I think this one wasn't as bad as the Arsenal one, because at least we gave it a bit of a go. If Chris Wood scored that goal to make it 1-1, who knows where things could have gone from there with the way Man City are at the moment. Could their heads have dropped? Could they have started to feel sorry for themselves and their weaknesses come to the fore? Who knows? It didn't go in. We don't know. You can't be going on a thing of, well, if this goal went in, then it might have been different, because it didn't. The old saying, if my auntie had a wheel, should be a bike, and she doesn't, so she's not, sort of thing. And I think you gotta I don't know, you gotta. I was down a bit after the game. I can't lie. I was feeling a little bit gloom and doom. I was like, was the start of the season a bit of a not a fluke, but is it sort of something that's sort of been and gone now? But I don't think so. Now I've sort of had moments to think about it, and I was thinking about it on my way to work and trying to sort of digest the game and dissect different areas of it. I don't think it's too bad. We can do better. against Big Six sides, and I think that's the frustration. Any other season going and losing 3-0 at the Etihad, you gotta take it and move. Be glad that it wasn't 6 like it was for us in the opening season that we got promoted under Coops. Yeah, I think the frustrations came where I know we can do better, and I've seen that we can do better, but City are still a fantastic side, even if they are going through a poor spell. So you can't take too much out of it, and it is a free hit. Man City away, it's always going to be a free hit, unless you really, really need to win it. And we don't. So look, I think we're still 6th, so we take it, we move, and I think it's really, really important. One of the things sort of that I really like the mindset of is it's not how you lose, it's how you respond, and I think that's so important with us. I think we've got to respond in the right way, in a positive manner. Obviously, Man United away is never going to be easy. They're still a really good side at home. I think they've got some sort of record where I don't think they've ever lost at Old Trafford, being behind at half time. No, sorry, being in front at half time, which is absolutely mental. And there's still kind of this aura of going to Old Trafford that just it's intimidating. And I know they've not been as good as they have been of late, but it is still an intimidating place to go. And I think we're going to have to be at our best if we want to try and get something from it. Not as much so as I think Etihad away, but I think we still got to be on it, and we really have to put behind us what happened against the Man City. And it's a new day, it's a new opportunity, and we go again. I think there must be something about Forest playing at these big, wide open pitches of late, because the Etihad and the Emirates are both really wide open, whereas sort of the pitches at Stamford Bridge and Anfield are quite tight to the crowd, that are not as wide and spacious and open, and that's where we got our joy from. So it'll be interesting to see how things pan out against United, see whether that does sort of play into that in any way. But yeah, looking forward to this one, and I see it as an opportunity to try and bounce back. I don't know what Manchester United side are going to turn up. Is it going to be the one that sent Everton for 4, or is it going to be the one that lost against United? No, they are United. Lost against Arsenal, struggled to beat Ipswich. Drew 1-1 with Ipswich. I don't know why I'm getting every single number completely mixed up today. My head's fried. I do apologise. But yeah, look, I think it's a real opportunity for us to try and bring that sort of feeling back to the fans. We go to Old Trafford and we do well, we get something. Maybe then it's going to sort of change our mindset and our view on away performances against the Big Six, because it was really quite positive. It was up here, and now it's sort of gone back down here. And look, I think, are we going to be back to that side that sort of rolls up to a Big Six away and sort of takes our punishment and then moves? I hope not, but Saturday will be a big indication as to whereabouts we are in those moments and sort of how we can sort of approach it. I think last season, it was right at the start of last season, we played them in August, I believe, and it was a 3-2 loss at Old Trafford. We went 2-0 up and got unlucky with the refereeing decisions and things. It shouldn't have been a penalty, and Worrell got a red card, which I think was harsh. And it kind of sort of went from 2-0, we crumbled and lost 3-2, and then beat them at home and lost. I think we lost against them in the cup at home as well. So look, I think it's going to be interesting to see how things pan out. We haven't won or even drew at Old Trafford since promotion. It was I think it was like a 2-0 cup game loss and a 3-0 loss in the league there. So yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see what happens and how we can navigate the situation. They're obviously not as scary as they used to be, United, but they're still going to be a difficult proposition. So I think it's going to be interesting to see how things go. In terms of a start 11, I think you got to go with Sells in goal. As much of a defensive kind of what's the word, familiarity as possible. I did quite like that we went to a 3 centre-back situation with the 2 wing-backs. It kind of allowed Moreno and Aina to get forward a bit more. But Whether that's an option to start, I don't know. I know obviously Amarim's going to want to go for three at the back because that's sort of something that he's become synonymous with. He has his wingers sort of playing as more wing backs with Diallo, who you got an informal fee for playing at right back. So it shows that he likes to get players like Diallo and like Garnacho tracking back and doing the defensive duties. So maybe a five at the back might try and combat that. I don't know, but I think Nuno knows what he wants to do, and I think it'll probably be a four at the back, 4-2-3-1. I'd expect, with probably Aina and Murillo as Aina and Moreno as the fullbacks. We've got three M names, four if you put in Morato. I think my brain just sometimes gets confused. Alex Moreno and Ola Aina at the fullback with Milinkovic and Murillo in between. The two CDMs, I'm not sure. I know Yates was taken off quite early against City. I don't know if that's because he's picked a knock-up or whether Nuno wasn't happy with his performance. But I think, you got to really look at that, and it'd be interesting to see who he goes with, because I think the midfield got overrun by the midfield Man City with Grealish and De Bruyne just looking absolutely fantastic. So it'll be interesting to see who he goes with. I'm not going to predict that because I'm not too sure. Obviously, you've got Anderson in there who could go in there. Dominguez, you could put out Ward-Prowse. I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. Gibbs White as well in behind the striker. A few people I saw on Twitter were criticising him, saying that he tries these flicks and stuff and then doesn't track back when they don't work out. There was one of the goals yesterday that he could maybe have said he needed to track back a bit better with. I still think he should play. He's one of our best creative players. I think he should play. But he needs to work on that, if he can, and just try and eradicate that from his game, because he's a fantastic footballer all round. And if he can remove that, I think we've got nothing really we can complain about with him. For wingers, then Elanga playing against City. I don't know. Some games he's really good, he's really effective. In other games, he just doesn't pull off what he wants to try and pull off. He's playing against his former sides that give him the edge. I don't know. I'd like to see Hudson-Odoi come back in if he's fit. And then on the other side, either of Jota, Souza or Elanga for me, I think. Either of those three, but how's Nuno going to view Elanga's performance? I don't know, so that'll be interesting to see. And then through the middle, Chris Wood, for me. Tyrone came off the bench and didn't really get involved, didn't really do too much. It's a real shame because I love Tyrone and he did an amazing job for us when we first went up and scored some huge goals, but doesn't look to be his former self anymore. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see if he does come off the bench, if he's able to influence the game in any way. Scored in that game last season at Old Trafford, so yeah, be really interesting to see what happens in that front, whether he does get a shout off the bench or whatever. But I think Chris Wood for me, hopefully though that miss against City doesn't play on his mind. I know he missed a sitter against Spurs at the back end of last season. It kind of played on his mind for a couple of games, so hopefully he can eradicate that as soon as he can, and we can be okay in that scenario. But it's going to be a really interesting game, this one. Really looking forward to see how it pans out, which sort against each other. But yeah, really looking forward to this one, and I'm hoping for a positive result. But I could also see another shaky away performance like we've seen today. Who knows? I hope it's the former rather than the latter. But yeah, score prediction, I'm going to say 2-1 Forest. Let's be positive. Why not? What's the point in not being positive? Get behind the boys. Come on, you Reds. Just before I finish, I want to apologise. There was some names and numbers that I got mixed up. I do a lot of this, if you didn't know, kind of off my head, off the cuff, rather than sort of write it down. And sometimes I bumble my words and get things mixed up. I do apologise for that. I'll try and work on that going forward. But hopefully, next time I speak to you, it will be off the back of a positive victory or point away at Old Trafford. Going into the next fixture after that. I think off the top of my head, I think it's Villa at home. So hopefully we can go into that with a bit of momentum. But yeah, second part of our Manchester doubleheader in this game, and hopefully it's a bit better than the last one. So if you did enjoy it, smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and you did enjoy what you've seen on the channel today. And yeah, comment down below what you think might happen in the game, all that good stuff. And finally, come on, you Reds.